And I think that connection with the hockey community of bringing them, the private Facebook group, into our struggle. We're doing this together, right? We're going after the big box stores and saying, no, this isn't okay that what you're doing to us. And that really resonated with the community, and they started doing things. And it just exploded from there.
Welcome to another episode of the Community and Conversions Show, where we bring you awesome community leaders who are doing big things, making a big impact, making some big dollars while they're at it, and changing a lot of lives by being able to lead these communities. So really excited for today's guest, Mr. Drew Laine. He's a total badass and has really built this incredibly large, engaged, targeted, profitable community, and made sure it's very impact driven too. In fact, he was just able to donate over 70 grand, was it, to one of the people in need in his community. And that's just incredible. So it's really a testament to what we do here as community leaders, is we bring people together and we help them. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And I'm always inspired by people like Drew that are doing it at a high level and really changing a lot of lives. So I'm excited to dive in and hear more of the story, man.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me. And I appreciate the kind words. It's been a roller coaster, true ride over the past couple of years, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's worth every up, every down. That's for sure.
100%. And I saw one of your stories about that the other day, like really kind of detailing, like, hey, here's where we were at. Here was, the struggle bus we were on at the time. And that's one fun thing I always like digging into on these shows is a lot of times you hear on, podcasts or speaking, they're like, I was living in a dumpster and now I'm a millionaire, but they don't tell you like what was in the middle.
In between, right? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, when we started the community, the story going back to the start of it is fairly interesting. So in my other life, we have a software company, non-related to anything that we do now within the community. And we were getting bored. It was a Friday afternoon. We were sitting around, myself and my business partner, and we were like, man, how do we get back into something that we love? And what we, one of the passions that we both had was hockey. We were both players. Our kids were growing up, getting into the rink. We were starting to coach ourselves. And he threw it out there. He said, you know what, can we start a subscription box for hockey players? And I'm like, yes, I love that idea. And so we kind of ran with it, man. And long story short, we launched it 2 days before Black Friday back in 2016. It took off. We had to figure out what the hell to do to get a subscription box off the ground before Christmas. We ended up delivering over 80 boxes in the New England area by hand. It was a wild ride. But to get to the group side of it, so after that Christmas, we decided that we were going to roll with it. We're going to invest into it and see what we can do with the subscription box. And we really invested heavily into Facebook ads, into Google ads to see, can we scale this? Can we get it to a place where it's a very profitable company and something that, is worth putting our time into that's interesting? And what we found was at that point in time in 2017, the ad spend that we were putting into it, we were not getting the return. The customer acquisition cost was through the roof. And we were looking at it and saying, we need to find a way to drop this, or we start over, or we leave the company, and looking at it, we said, look, the hockey community, and that's what it is. It truly is one big hockey family, the majority of it. They're pretty tight knit. What if we started a private Facebook group for all the subscribers that we have for Penalty Box, get them into one place and build a community, interact, share content and stories, but then also ask them to bring in their friends and then sell them Penalty Boxes. And that started to grow. So we started growing it, and we were doing a lot of content. I was doing a lot of lives. We were doing interviews with interesting hockey entrepreneurs and, pro athletes, all sorts of people, and getting that small community that we had engaged, right? That was our key. It was keeping them interested in that group with stuff that they care about as hockey parents. And as we did that, we started to filter in partner deals. So, kicking off the bat, we'd go to someone who we knew was in the industry, a smaller mid-sized manufacturer, and we'd say to them, hey, we have this great targeted audience that is looking for your product. Would you like to set up a wholesale deal with us so we get X amount and sell it for X amount, but we'll give that product to the community for a 3 to 5 day period at 25 to 30% off. We'll take the difference. And that took off. We were running 2 or 3 deals a week, but we really weren't focusing on that money, Artie. It was more about, building the community around it and having them involved in all of those deals. It was on gear that is just ridiculous gear. If you look at the cost of, and this goes for any sport, but a cost of a hockey stick, it's $300-$400 now. And being behind the scenes of that industry, we started to see that costs $30-$40 to make. What the hell is going on here? These people are getting ripped off. And that didn't sit well. I grew up in a middle-class family, and my mom worked very, very hard to buy my hockey sticks, and it pissed me off. So, we started going after it. And I think that connection with the hockey community of bringing them, the private Facebook group, into our struggle. We're doing this together, right? We're going after the big box stores and saying, no, this isn't okay that what you're doing to us. And that really resonated with the community, and they started doing things. And it just exploded from there.
Yeah, love that. I think one part of that stands out was at the end there. It's really, really showing, hey, we're on your side here. Like, we're going to go out to these manufacturers. We're going to go put together deals for you guys. Like, we want to make sure you're getting good rates too. Pair that with super specific community, very targeted who should be in there. And like the good urgency of, hey, we got a new deal. Now's the time.
And it's funny, man, with that urgency, a lot of the times we would only get X amount, since we're working with medium to small manufacturers, we'd only get X amount of inventory to sell. We'd sell the 60, 70, and then it'd be over. And people would be like, it's gone. So they would fear missing out on those deals. So every time we go live with the deal, it's bang, 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 because they don't want to miss out. So the urgency is definitely there.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's real too. It's not like something else. It's not actually going to run out. It's like, you actually missed it. We sold out.
And we'll bring it back at some point. But, and the great part is that the community around it, as we started doing these things, we started to hear stories of families in need. We started to see up in Alberta, a hockey family come together for someone who had a house fire. And then we'd see someone down in Miami or Orlando or somewhere in Florida that, they had a kid whose mom and dad both deployed, and that kid wasn't going to be able to play hockey because they couldn't afford the dues. But their hockey family and community came around them and really supported them. And we thought, you know what? We have this amazing platform where we have 50,000 hockey families in there. Can we connect the dots here and make more of an impact? Can we bring that Alberta family into the emotional story that Florida family's having and bring everybody together to support everybody instead of just doing it in that micro way? And that's something that also has been just, well, first of all, it's mission driven. It's who we are. If you're part of our group, then you know that we care about you. Well, we take care of our own, and we also care about what you're saying and how you're interacting in the group too. It's simply put, don't be a dick. And if you're a dick, you're leaving the group. So we really define who we are as a community and really try to stick to that. So that's been powerful for our growth as well.
Yeah, I love that. And it's such a good takeaway for everybody out there listening. Like, pull out your notepads right now, because there's so much stuff in between the lines of what you're doing that other people should be applying. So like what I pulled from that right there is you have such a clear set of values of, hey, this is what we're about. And it's totally attracting people in. Of course, they want to be a part of a community that's giving back, and people are just drawn to that. So for everybody else out there watching and listening, what is that for you? What are those big values that people are going to be attracted to towards your brand, towards your mission, towards what you got going on, and talk about it more. So I think that's really cool that you guys not just, talking about it, but doing it and putting it together in a big way, like that big check you guys were able to cut. Do you want to tell the story of that one?
Absolutely, man. So we started a 501c3 back in, I believe it was 2018, and it's called the Penalty Box Foundation. And the mission is to take care of anybody who's been through something catastrophic to ensure that hockey stays in their lives. And at a micro level, we do a lot of scholarships, micro grants to families who are going through something, whether it's this past year, especially with parents losing their jobs and the kids may not have the opportunity to get on ice. I got to tell this story because it's kind of where the emotion of all this comes from. But we did a hockey drive bag. Hockey bags don't seem like a big thing because it's just a bag you carry your stuff in. But we heard the story of a kid out. I don't know where he was, but he was 13 years old. He's a foster kid who was carrying around a big army backpack. One of the old duffel bags in army gear. So we said, okay, cool. We'll send him a bag. We had a few laying around. Not more than 2 weeks later, we got a video back from his foster mom, and it was him walking in from school. He had his backpack on, and he saw this thing in the middle of the kitchen floor. And dude, it was wrapped in plastic because we didn't know how to ship things at that point. So we literally just wrapped it in plastic, slapped the label on, and got it out the door. But he starts taking it apart, and then he starts to see what it is. And man, 13 years old, you just see him drop down and just start crying. And at that point too, that was like, okay, all right, there's something here about what we're doing. But so we've done a lot of stuff over the past couple of years since starting the Penalty Box Foundation. And one of them was it was 2 months ago. Well, actually it was November of last year, where a hockey player in Philadelphia had a spinal cord injury during a game. He took a hit the ice, and he broke his neck. Very, very sad, 17 years old. And he had quite a journey ahead of him, and he's fighting the good fight right now. But I get a call saying that he didn't have a van, and that was in January of this year. And we went out, and I looked at it, and I looked at the information that the mother sent over, and I said, we got to help this kid. There's something that we have to do to help him get his van. He's 17 years old. He can't play the sport that he loves. He can't do the things that he thought he was going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And his mother and father, really great people, hardworking, middle-class people that are just so committed to their son. And when we saw that, we sat back and we said, we're going to help. We're going to run a fundraiser this weekend, and we're going to get the kid a van. So the price on the van was, I think, $60,000 or right around there. So we ran a fundraiser. Within 72 hours of putting this into our Facebook group, into our community, we had raised over $70,000 to buy the kid the van.
Wow.
And just this, I think it was 2 weeks ago now on the 1st, we were able to cut that check and get it down to them. But that is the impact that you can have when you focus on the day-to-day of your mission and growing your group in the right way. You bring the right people together. If you really focus on your core, like you said, Arne, the core values of who you are as a group, then you can make tremendous impact. It just takes focus. It takes drive. Really put your head down and make things, a passionate thing for you. Make it your mission. But when you cut that check and you see the response you get from the family, I think about the impact that all of us as community owners and leaders could have if we step back and think, how can this specific group help the other people around it or in it? And I challenge everybody who's out there, who's the leader, who's in running their own community, growing their own community, keep that in the back of your head, because givers are getters, right? I forget what Ryan says, but he has a quote, something like that. It comes back fourfold. In the community that will continue to build, but also how you feel and the people around you feel about your mission.
Yeah, love it. It's 100% true. And a lot of times people forget that they have that power as leaders, because most people naturally, they're like, well, how can I, start a group for my business and get the right people together and X, Y, and Z. And nothing wrong with that. That's what we're all here to do, build our businesses, right? And part of that is recognizing those leadership opportunities and those opportunities to step up as a collective group of people. Not just a leader, but really, really push people towards that mission. And that's where everything really gets amplified. I think that's really the favorite thing about what I do, is when I get to work with leaders like you and all my other clients and people just listening, and they step even 1 foot better direction into that leadership, into making a difference, it's going to change that many people's lives. So I love it.
It's going to change the world in micro now, but macro as things ripple. And it's powerful, man. I'll tell you, it really is. And it's that step of courage, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if you went through it, but I certainly had a period where I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's a Facebook group. What do you mean? It's an audience. It is a true community. It can do things that you have no idea it can do. And the ripple effects, man. Like we did we're doing a 12-week challenge, fitness challenge. It's a hockey group. We sell hockey stuff. We have 200 people in there that are changing their lives, and they're changing other people. Think about the ripple effect that has on their families. And what are their kids going to think about their dad who just lost 25 pounds? It's a whole thing. You have that power. If you have a community, you need the courage. You need to take that first step. Don't worry about it. It is a tremendous tool. Take that step and have the courage to do something behind it. It'll change lives. It'll change the world if we all have that courage.
Yeah, 100%. And even if it's something small, even if it's something just to get going, just throw the word out there, something you care about happening, something you want to support, put the word out.
Yep.
Show up, throw down, invite your community to throw down, and you can make a big difference. Like I remember I had one story that really kind of solidified this for me was a client of mine reached out, and he had bought my course, was never really active in the student group, never sent me any message or anything, but he went through it, he did the work, he built up his community, and he reached out and he says, Arnie, I gotta thank you. Because of building up this community on Facebook, it's helped us fund our nonprofit that serves underprivileged kids and help them get better resources, better understand finances, better understand business, all this different stuff. And that's when it really kind of sunk in for me about that ripple effect. Like this one person gets to go out and create a community the right way and show up and be a leader. And all of those kids that his nonprofit is working with, they're going to grow up to be smarter, more empowered, better off financially, going to just ripple out through their families, their communities, everybody. So you guys out there listening, take this stuff seriously, because this is your opportunity to show up, make a difference.
That's it. And on the business side too, from the business psychology standpoint, I'm a big believer of, and you've probably heard this, Arnie, it's making deposits, right? You make deposits from a marketing standpoint. You make quality content or content or anything giving to your community. You make those deposits, and then when it's time to come and sell something, they're a hell of a lot more apt to purchase it because you've given them that value. And by building the giver side of things and making sure that you're focusing on and truly doing it and caring about it, it changes the whole marketing and sales side of your business if you have one. They trust you. They trust your brand. They trust what you're doing, who you are. And people would rather buy, this firsthand. You'd rather buy from someone they know and trust than going out to one of the big box stores and doing, purchasing, especially, Amazon these days. It's so easy to buy. But stores are also not giving people a reason not to go to Amazon. They're not making it easy. They're not making them feel good. There are different things that stores and people selling are missing that if you do it the right way and you leverage your group and you focus on the right things, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to do. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's so cool when you can do those big things and, make a bunch of money pretty quickly too. Like I remember, you posted up and you told me about your Black Friday where you did, what was it? It was like 100 and something grand on Black Friday.
$160,000. Yep. I was a big kid, man. I'll tell you, I was at my parents' house for Thanksgiving with my family, and just sitting there, I got emotional looking at it, because you think back 3 years ago at this point, I was just launching this. I was just launching a subscription box. And now here we are on Black Friday, and we're doing that much money just through that group, right? And it's only through that group. We don't do ads, and we're a near 8-figure company. Think about that. We don't do ads. Everything that we do comes from who we are and the way that we built this and caring about the people out there. We've been able to build a 3PL behind, the company. We have a 12,000 square foot warehouse that now does all of our fulfillment. We have amazing, we just acquired, which I didn't get to tell you, but we just acquired a print and embroidery shop. Like, all these different things happen through this Facebook group, through our community, in stepping up and saying, you know what, we can be leaders and we can make these things work, but you have to follow the plan. You got to make sure you're doing the things every day that make your group a quality group. And you have the blueprint for that. No question about that, man.
Yeah, love it. And that's what it is the consistency. So what do you think helped get you through? Because, there were those hard times early on when I'm sure you felt like, this ain't it. I'm gonna throw it in the trash can. Screw it.
Dude, so many times.
and you powered through. What do you think helped you get through those times?
It was the giving side of things, knowing that we were true, like, in my heart of hearts, I'm a softie, man. Like, no matter what my background says, I am soft. I'm a crier, like all those things. But it was truly the giving side of the business that helped us get through me personally, through the tough times, through the, negative comments, through the back and forth, having to block people, the text messages telling me I'm a scumbag, and all this stuff. If you are doing it and building it for the right reasons, and you have your core values in place, it doesn't matter. And that's, man, getting a letter from, I'll have to send you it, but we have this, it was one of the first ones we got. It's a letter from a kid, and it has a $2 bill on, and it's written in his handwriting, and it says, "Thank you so much for helping me play hockey."
Wow.
This was from the Tooth Fairy last month, whatever it is. Love X. And we have that on the wall. And it's little things like that, knowing that, all right, well, Susie didn't get the right color shirt, and she's going to flip out about it. Or, people don't like that I'm not going to allow them to post their own stuff in the group, and I ignore it and I block it. And they don't like that. This isn't the community for you. Get out of here. Because we're focused on the long term, changing how our game is played on the business side, but also taking care of our own. And that's our core. And that, man, getting through all the crap, getting through the holiday seasons where the dark times, feeling alone, not feeling like you have anybody beside you. Set it up the right way. Make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, and put the goddamn blinders on. If the blinders are on, it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah. And just knowing, I think that's one big thing with group owners too, is it's not like a faucet you can just turn on and off. Like, you're on. You get it going, you're committed. If you get distracted for a couple months, your community is going to die out,
That's
true. Gotta be in it for the long game.
And you see so many groups out there, everybody and their sister is starting a group for doing this and doing that, and it's great, but the commitment isn't there. It's not a consistent and focused effort. Man, liking everybody's posts, like allowing the right types of posts, reaching out to people and answering questions. And man, I'll tell you, I still try to go through on 2-3 days a week and go through every post that we've had in the group, every comment, and throw like on it. Because whether you like it or not, like, man, you become that leader, you become that mini celebrity within what you're doing, and them seeing you interact gives them that feeling that they're part of it. And that's what people want these days, is to feel part of it. Then you add the mission driven stuff onto it, and it all rolls. If you don't do that, you're screwed.
Yep. Got to be present for sure. So, I love all that. And for everybody else out there watching right now, leave a comment. Let me know what's standing out so far, because I feel like we could write a book on just the concepts we talked about so far in half an hour.
Probably should.
Yeah, because it's it. This is all the stuff. So guys, pay close attention and leave a comment. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you come back over to the Facebook group, Community and Conversions, and let us know what stood out, what you guys learned. So as we get closer to wrapping up here, I always love to pull out kind of like, what is one unique thing that you guys do in marketing that has really worked that, not everybody does?
So I think for growth, right? We look at growth And we have since the start, in what I see as a different way, and we put it onto our group members from day one. As we've brought them into our mission in the journey of entrepreneurship, which is a lot of fun to do for them, but we put it on them, guys. We are not going to reach these goals if you don't go out and add 5 of your favorite hockey parents to the group. If you don't do it, we're simply, when I'm sitting down with these manufacturers, we're not going to have the opportunity to really make an impact. And that was early on, right? I would, go live in the group on my way to meet with a manufacturer of some, product that everybody wanted. I said, guys, you need to add friends because they're going to tell me that they want more audience. You have, so bringing them into it and putting it on them, and also leveling that, saying, I don't want dicks. Don't add a friend who's going to end up being, trouble here, because that's going to come back to you and reflect poorly.
Yeah.
So that in the early stages is what helped us explode and really hook people into what we were doing. And now it's more, we need more people in the group because we make more impact when we have a broader audience and a voice. You guys have seen what we're doing. You know exactly the impact that all of us together can have. If we don't have that audience in certain places, then we're screwed. So we need your help in these areas, and pull some of the, the stats out of the insights and say, look, we're strong here. Where's X? Where's Y? We know you're strong in hockey there. Let's get going.
Yeah.
And then you get it, man, I'll tell you, because that creates, you'll get little community leaders. Like you'll get folks who are, well, I'm in, West Fargo, and North Fargo is beating us. What the hell's going on here? And they will take that on themselves to then be, that ambassador in your area, because they're bought in. They love what we're doing. They want other people to feel it too. So I don't know if that's unique or not, but that's the way we look at growth. Yeah.
I love that, because it's funny. Normally I don't recommend that people, go out and invite all their friends, but that is how to do it. It's the purpose behind it. It's not just saying, hey, add 10 friends and I'm going to send an iPhone to somebody. It's hey, we're on this mission together. We want to keep our purchasing power up. We want to have a bigger impact. Like, who do you know that needs to be in here? Bring them in.
Yep.
So
good hockey, good targeted people. Same audience. We want your hockey friends. Who are you sitting in the stands with? And for other groups, it could be, who are you sitting at a desk with? Who are you, connecting with about your carburetor, whatever it might be. But get those targeted people and grow that way. We found great success there.
100%. And that's one of the key things. So I was learning a lot about communities and retention, especially. And one of the biggest factors that I discovered was every single person teaching about retention was saying, if you want to keep people engaged for a long time, whether it's a free group, a membership, a mastermind, whatever it is, if their friends are in there, they're not going to want to leave. It's like, hey, here's where my friends get together. Here's how everybody hangs out. Like, you want to leave all your friends? No, you want to keep showing up.
You want to hang out, and hey, did you see this post too? Because it creates that micro virality within those small pockets. In the insights, man, the insights use those posts. You know what? Challenge yourself out there. And Arne, you did this before to beauty. Grab the top 5 cities that you're in, drop that in there, and ask why these top cities are the top cities. Me, if I'm in Boston and I see that New York's beating us, no, I'm going to go find some good people to come in and start making that impact. You'll find your creative people or your competitive people within the group, and they'll take it by the horns for you. And it's free.
Love that. That's so cool. Great hacks. Everybody make sure to drop a comment. What was your takeaway from that growth hack, and what are you going to do about it? Because we're not just here to, be talking heads on your newsfeed. We want to be giving you guys stuff to go out and run with. So love it. Lots of takeaways on this one, man. Really, really appreciate you coming on. So for anybody it's curious about, connecting with you or checking out the group, following what you guys are up to, where should we send them?
So the group is Hockey Deals and Discounts. It's out there. And then I guess Instagram's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. It's Drew, DREW, .Laine, LAINE. Drop me a DM if you have questions. Would love to connect. We're always open to partnerships and collaborations, and we're here to help. So
love it, man. Thank you so much for coming on. As always, everybody, make sure you drop a thank you to Drew. He's actually out on vacation with his family in Florida right now and still took the time to come hang with us. So it's much appreciated.
Gonna go jump in the pool.
Enjoy. All right, guys. Catch y'all next week. See you on Thursday. And as always, if you prefer to listen in on iTunes, where we got the podcast there, YouTube, and live every Thursday on Facebook. So catch you guys next time. Thanks again, Drew.
Thank you.